Just minutes after new Chancellor Jeremy Hunt publicly torched Liz Truss's economic agenda, the Daily Mail splashed this on the front page of their website. Hunt is de facto PM. When the Daily Mail says a Tory leader is done, they are done. In a further sign of the Prime Minister's fading relevance, she failed to turn up to the House of Commons to answer an urgent question tabled by the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer. Penny Mordaunt, leader of the House, turned up instead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Prime Minister to make a statement on the replacement of the Chancellor of the Exchequer during the current economic situation.
Mr. Speaker, with apologies to the Leader of the Opposition and the House, the PM is detained on urgent business.
Now, after just 42 days in office, Tory MPs have begun trying to oust the Prime Minister, that's Liz Truss, in earnest. According to iNews, up to 100 Tories have written to Graham Brady demanding vote of no confidence in Liz Truss, MPs believe. The article goes on to say this. One veteran Tory told he will have letters piling up against the back of his door. He'll be pushing the door open with a few people because of all the letters piling up the back of it. The party's rules state the leader is safe from a formal challenge for their first year in office, meaning that in principle, Ms. Truss cannot face a confidence vote before September 2023. Thereafter, votes can take place no more than once every 12 months. But Sir Geoffrey Clifton Brown, that is a very Tory name, treasurer of the 1922 committee, insisted that a vote could be held if the committee's officers believed there was overwhelming demand for one. Of course we have the power to change the rules, he told the BBC. Those letters to the 1922 committee are secret. Only its chair, Sir Graham Brady, is allowed to read them. But so far, only 5 Tory MPs have publicly called for Truss to go. They are Crispin Blunt, Jamie Wallis, Andrew Bridgen, Angela Richardson and Charles Walker. However, behind closed doors, things are very different. The Telegraph's Christopher Hope has reported this. Last night, I was sent a single WhatsApp message from a prominent member of the 2019 intake of Tory MPs. The message said, quote, Rishi PM, Hunt Chancellor, Penny Foreign Secretary, and it's a done deal. MPs are also freely briefing against Truss to journalists. The FT's Sebastian Payne posted this on social media. One Tory party insider says of Hunt's statement, quote, it's an utter humiliation of the Prime Minister. How can she not resign when her entire argument for the future of the country has been totally shredded? Meanwhile, The Observer's Michael Savage tweeted this. Tory MPs asking how on earth Truss can be put through another #PMQs. As one puts it, we've reached the pity stage. The bookies have started putting out odds on the next PM too. Rishi Sunak is the favourite by far, with Jeremy Hunt and Ben Wallace trailing behind. Even further behind, though, is Keir Starmer, meaning the bookies put more faith in a Tory coronation happening than a general election. Probably wise. Still, some Tories seem to be in complete denial. This WhatsApp chat was leaked to the Sunday Times journalist Gabriel Pogrund. No pics, but all the people I met today were either showing me pity or anger that we could let Labour in by being divided. That's from Michael Fabricant. Steve Double replies, funny that, as everyone I've met this whole weekend is worried we will let Labour in due to the mistakes of the past month. Other Tories just wish they had a time machine. Responding to a story that said that Labour was preparing for government, Nadine Dorries tweeted this. Tory MPs who orchestrated the coup and consistently campaigned against Boris Johnson made this possible. Sunak, Hunt, Stride, Baker, Javid, Harper, et al. If he was still PM, Labour wouldn't be wasting their money because they would know they were facing another GE defeat. Ash, do you think the Tories would be doing significantly better if they'd kept Boris Johnson at number 10?
No. I mean, look, Nadine Dorries is doing her job, which is say any old mad shit that she can in support of Boris Johnson. I do think she's made some other good points about, the democratic legitimacy of the Conservative Party picking another leader and effectively imposing another prime minister on the country. But this point about Boris Johnson doing so much better really is for the birds. One of the things about Boris Johnson is that I think as a politician, he has more discernible talents than Liz Truss. I think that he's been able to pick some better advisors. I think that he's got better populist instincts than Liz Truss. But without the Vote Leave team around him, he really became unmoored. He ended up sort of feeding, many of the baser demands coming from his own party. And instead of focusing on shoring up those newly acquired red wall seats, he spent political capital on defending MPs like Owen Paterson, who were from, Tory Shire safe seats. And strategically, that was the wrong decision. It meant that the lobby turned against him. And then all of those issues of integrity and probity, which was screamingly obvious from before he was even in high office, suddenly there was renewed attention on that. And that was what led to his downfall. If Boris Johnson were still in power, he would still be facing that kind of onslaught from the press, and it would be entirely his own fault. So no, I don't think that they would be better off with Boris Johnson. One thing that perhaps would still be there is the mandate from 2019, which was for levelling up, increased public spending, and moving money from London into the Midlands and the North. Now, there's not a huge amount of evidence that the Tory party were actually doing that under Boris Johnson in a particularly meaningful way. After the exit of Dominic Cummings, really levelling up became just a slogan. It was a placeholder for a set of values rather than an actual delivered policy platform. But that was what the 2019 mandate was for. Now, Liz Truss set that on fire, and Jeremy Hunt is just pissed all over it. So I do think there's an argument about democratic legitimacy, but I don't think that the Conservative Party would be doing a whole lot better than they are now.